Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and swap out the map to a distillery. Sorry, not distillery, fusion plant. And someone else can be the monster this time. The next giveaway is not for another hour and 8 minutes, Portkey. Hey, Sideways GTS, welcome to the channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think that the play where Trapper was that Trapper that got caught in the Mega Mouth after I leap smashed. Yeah, I didn't plan that out at all. I just actually it happened that way.
Even better, capitalize on it. Oh, welcome, Levelly Own Hype. Level Y. I'm not sure. Own Hype. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, I do coaching every Saturday. I used to do it in the evenings, but I have a lot of European crowd in Oceanic, and so usually my late nights is their very, very, very early mornings. So I swapped over to Saturday. So I do a lot of coaching on Saturdays now. I also do a bit of playing from time to time, but I don't play as often, mostly because I don't want to squash people, just because when I do a lot of coaching, a lot of people have various skill levels, and so I don't necessarily, plus I'm out of practice, and so you know I don't play as much, nearly as much as I used to, but I get an occasional games in from time to time. So we got ourselves a Wraith. Now Parnell gets a lot of limb hits against a Wraith, just because of her forearms and her mobility. So Parnell is interesting because you can still do really, really well with the Wraith, but I find that a lot of times the mark of a true Parnell is whether or not they can get consistently good damage on a Wraith, especially a mobile one. Ooh, and we have a Val. Val, Maggie, Parnell, Hank, a very, very, very tanky group. Very hard to peel off anyone because Maggie can help protect the support and the medic, and then of course Hank and Healer can support each other as well. So it's very much going to be up to Parnell to do the vast majority of the damage. So it'll be interesting to see how this works out with the Wraith. And we're on our old favorite fusion plant with the Savage Skin and God's Hand Killa on the Wraith. So already. Now this is the interesting map. This is one of the few maps where it is very, very, very hard to stay sneaky as a monster, just because there's really no kind of cave or overhead areas. There's a lot of trees, but there aren't really any caves where monsters and wildlife go outside of shenanigans of like abducting. And look at the mammoth bird trying to drink some water. And the poor little Wraith just eating their skin. So here we go. This will fill up the armor of the Wraith out minus a bar or so. And they do have Maggie. So Daisy, I'm not the biggest fan of Daisy as a tracker, just because she's very easy to exploit, and I have a couple of videos on my channel to show that. But I love her as an in-combat res. Like she's really strong because it's very easy for the monster to ignore Daisy in combat because Daisy's not doing any damage. So the back of your mind puts it out really well. So monster already eaten 9 food out of the 15 he needs to evolve. Misses the sneak pounce. And there is the carrion birds. So all the hunters not doing a split, but they're all kind of just going around the rock at this rate. Kind of an unusual tactic. Usually you want to see a split. And it looks like Toxic Hounds just got attacked by, or Toxic Hounds started attacking dead over there. But yeah, awkward split. Also support and medic together with Assault and Trapper. Not sure of this split either. It's a little bit better than other ones I've seen, but the monster will still be able to just go ahead and walk past here. Assault should be popping up in just a second. There comes the Assault, and there goes the invisibility. The only use of decoy is for that that invisibility, and so misses the trank shot, but Val might be able to get it. There we go. Val hitting the trank, the last second, and Wraith has to do the slow walk of shame because she is out of traversal. A couple of bodies you can eat down here might be worth picking up while you're tranked, just because there isn't anything you can do while your traversals recharge. And it does look like Val misses the follow-up trait shot as well. But he manages to hit through the building. Great job on MonkeyBot, both on Abe and Val. Very, very, very good aim with that person. So Wraith heading over only needs 2 or 3 more foods to be able to stage up. And it'll be interesting to see stage up. So against this, you do have to watch out for Hank's orbital. And on this map, the only good places to do that is inside the building or in this back building. It does make you a little bit predictable. You can also evolve down here, but that's in the middle of the map, and so usually it's not as a good spot. So monster ready to evolve. I think it's kind of hanging out, just trying to take a look. And all the hunters kind of taking their... Looks like that they're just taking the time to find said beastie. So support sees it. The cloak wore off, so he can't follow it that much. But it does look like that the monster is in fact going to go ahead and evolve in this little ship back here. Not going to the ship. Interesting. So with a Hank on the team, he needs to pick a spot to evolve quickly, or he's going to get into a position where... So this spot is not the greatest, because if you're coming from over here... let's just take on a look at Hank. So Hank, in theory, he's not going to be close enough. He could have been, though. See, and that's one of those things. You can't tell, like... The evolution, the sound evolution from a Wraith is really, really crappy. I absolutely hate it. I think it's the worst one out of the bunch because it's not definitive on where the monster actually is. You kind of get a rough guesstimation it's in this general direction, but it could be 5 feet, it could be 100 feet. It sounds the same. Whereas Goliath, Behemoth, and the Kraken are very, very distinct. And it's obvious, oh, that person's at least 150 away, or that person's right behind this tree. But Wraith doesn't have that, so always use that to your advantage. You can evolve a lot of times in places where it's not as scary. And there we go, there's the invisibility by the decoy. And interesting, supernova into a warp blast. Not the biggest fan, but wow. 2 people are down? That sloth and tyrant, oh my gosh. Wildlife doing amazing numbers, and the tyrant is going to completely down the support over there. Nobody shot it off, and this is going extremely well for the monster. Already 1 strike. Everybody's really low. I think that the monster can... That tyrant going again. That tyrant is just amazingly strong right now. And there goes the orbital. Orbital a little too late. But this sloth and tyrant combination, good lord. Shear is just kicking the shit out of the hunters. And that is going to pretty much be game. There's not much that the hunters can do to recover from that. Monster at full health. Everyone has at least 1 strike. All that's left is the trapper. Well played. Awful engagement. A tyrant and the sloth just absolutely wrecked freaking face. Wow, that was very brutal.
But I was dead wrong.
Holy shit!
As I said before,
tyrant OP.
Fuck wildlife.
Good game, guys.
Good game. That engagement was scary.
Good game, wildlife. That was ridiculous.
That was crazy. The sloth, yeah, sloth and tyrant MVP.
Sloth killed the trapper. What was it? Tyrant killed support.
Tyrant almost killed me, then killed the trapper, and then
I was nearly dead.
Val was just fucked.
So
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, really good game. The Wraith was doing a good job trying to be sneaky. It was kind of weird how you kind of did this kind of like U-turn before you went down Sloth Alley. I'm not too sure if that's just because you were waiting for food to spawn or what that was, but you probably could have just gone in a straight line and probably just have gotten there a little bit quicker. I feel like that not having a split around Sloth Alley was actually detrimental for the hunters. You kind of, all 4 of you seem to be going towards the swamp, and then halfway through you realize, oh, we're not going the other way, and then the monster was able to slip through. But really good. And then of course that engagement, you know, just fighting 3 monsters at once isn't really feasible.
I was hoping they were going to dome me there. I like to try to be very situational when I'm playing monster. I'm like, okay, if they're going to dome me, this is the perfect spot. You have a tyrant and a sloth here, so
yeah,
I was hoping they would go for it.
I want to see a tyrant, a sloth, and a nomad in like one, and a dune beetle all in like one little area somewhere.
I'd normally have just orbed towards that tyrant, but I bloody used it on a Hail Mary evolve guess.
See, that's what I hate about Wraith is like you can't tell if it's 150 feet or 100 or 50. It's just it's got the worst sounds for evolution. I really wish they would change it because it's so hard to pinpoint the Wraith evolution.